mysterious. Some archaeologists suggest they may have pulled them using ropes and wooden locks, but even after practical experiments, modern people struggle to move them. So how could the ancient islanders have done this? Another major question is why these statues were created. Some say they were the ancestors' spiritual guardians, protecting the island. Others say they were a way to demonstrate power and authority. And some theories even suggest they were part of a lost civilization that was advanced and took its knowledge with it. Even more frightening, researchers say that beneath these statues lie entire bodies, not just heads. Large torso parts have also been found buried underground, suggesting that the statues were actually representations of entire human bodies. This means that until the centuries, people assumed they were just large heads. But the truth turned out to be even more profound. At night, when the wind blows strongly and the sound of the ocean waves echoes, the Moai statues appear almost alive, staring at you with their eyes. Number 5. The Bermuda Triangle. In a part of the Atlantic Ocean, there's a triangular area called the Bermuda Triangle, or Devil's Triangle. It has 3 points: Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Connecting these 3 points creates a vast oceanic triangle where numerous ships and airplanes have disappeared without a trace, perplexing the world. The most famous case occurred in 1945, Flight 98, consisting of 5 American Navy bombers, was on a training mission. They reported that their compass was failing and their direction was unclear. A few hours later, their contact was lost, and their planes vanished without a trace. Most astonishingly, the rescue team that went to find them also vanished. Not just planes, but numerous ships have also vanished from here. The USS Cyclops, a massive Navy ship carrying over 300 people, was lost in the Bermuda Triangle without any ASOS signal. Neither a shipwreck nor a dead body was found. The entire ship vanished into thin air. Some scientists say that the magnetic fields here disturb compasses and navigation instruments. Methane gas hydrates. Methane gas emanates from beneath the ocean floor, changing the density of the water and causing ships to sink easily. Some theorists believe that this area is alien base, where they take humans for experiments. Another theory suggests that the Bermuda Triangle is atop the advanced technology of the ancient lost city of Atlantis, which is still active. Despite thousands of investigations, the true mystery of the Bermuda Triangle remains unsolved. Many experts say that these are merely natural explanations, but the truth is no one has a complete answer to all the cases reported here. Number 6. The Shroud of Turin. Friends, let's now turn to a mystery that has always confounded religion, science, and history. This mystery is the Shroud of Turin, an ancient cloth that remains the subject of intense debate and research worldwide. Imagine a cloth so old that a faint image of a man's entire body appears on it. This cloth is kept in the city of Turin, Italy, and for this reason, it is called the Shroud of Turin. Many believe that this is the cloth in which Jesus Christ was wrapped after his death. The outline of a long, bearded man's entire body is visible on this cloth, as if someone took a photograph and imprinted it on the cloth. The image shows marks on the man's face, hands, feet, and even back. And most astonishingly, the man's body bears the same wounds described in the Bible at the time of Jesus' crucifixion: nail holes on his hands and feet, marks of lashes on his back, and a crown of thorns on his head. Science has tried hard to understand this. In 1988, some scientists conducted carbon dating tests and concluded that the shroud was only 700 years old, meaning it couldn't date back to Jesus' time. However, later, more researchers stated that carbon dating failed to yield accurate results due to pollution, age, and repairs on the shroud. Some experts even suggest that the fabric's fibers experienced a light radiation that is impossible in the normal world, as if a supernatural flash had imprinted the image on the cloth. To this day, no one has been able to confirm whether the Shroud of Turin is genuine or a medieval-era fake. But whenever it is seen, people feel a strange sense of spirituality and mystery. This is something that remains a major puzzle between science and faith. Friends, consider whether this is truly Jesus' shroud providing evidence of his resurrection, or simply a carefully crafted illusion that has become one of the greatest religious mysteries in human history. Number 7. The Antikythera mechanism. Deep in the ocean, a ship's hull lay broken. From it emerged an old, rusted piece of iron that at first appeared to be just a piece of scrap metal. But when scientists examined it closely, they were left breathless. This was no ordinary piece of metal. It was the Antikythera mechanism, a device thousands of years ahead of its time. In 1901, Greek divers were exploring a shipwreck that had sunk near Antikythera Island. They found gold, statues, and ornaments. But the biggest discovery was a rusted gear mechanism. At first, archaeologists thought it was simply a broken astrological instrument. But as research progressed, it was discovered to be an incredible machine dating back 2,000 years. It featured tiny gear, wheels, and dials, much like a modern clock. Further research revealed that this mechanism could calculate the movements of the sun, moon, and planets, predict eclipses, and even tell the dates of the Olympic Games. Imagine how a machine that functioned like a modern computer could have been built 2,000 years ago. This remains a major mystery. There's no record of such technology in that era around 2000 BCE. Creating such an advanced design of metal gears required precise tools that people simply didn't have at the time. Some experts suggest it may have been created by a lost ancient civilization or an unknown genius. After X-ray imaging and 3D scans, scientists confirmed that the mechanism contained 37 gears. It was a kind of analog computer that calculated space and time. But one question remains. If this technology existed 2,000 years ago, why didn't the rest of the world know about it? And how did that knowledge suddenly disappear? Some believe the Antikythera mechanism is proof that ancient aliens gave humans technology. Others say it's a remnant of a lost civilization like Atlantis. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain. The Antikythera mechanism will always remain a mystery that tells us that our history isn't as simple as we've been taught. Friends, see you in the next video with another mysterious secret. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, be sure to
Hello, good evening,
Hello.
everyone.
Good evening.
Hello, Archana. Good evening.
Hello, ma'am.
Waiting for
How was the
you.
video? I was traveling, just reached and I फटाफट join किया. How was that video?
Nice.
Archana, I didn't find the according to today's topic, it is not matching. It was something of mysterious and all.
It
And
was about
whereas our topic is today for curse and myth, isn't it?
myths and curses.
No, but this is something. This video we had already seen in one of our session where we can see the different types of images from the above.
From the space.
And then we people started decoding it. What is all these things? The science of something. But this is not matching as far my knowledge goes. I do not know.
I realized
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's
But
more
still,
about
it is
the
still
mysteries only.
it was informative.
Yeah, we had already seen this thing, Sunita. We had already
Informative
seen this
knowledge
video.
also. but it's okay
I had missed last
to
time.
revise all the things.
That's true. Because I didn't find anything in the YouTube about this myth and
Same,
curse.
same.
Curse.
Uh,
Yeah.
but to one to Hindu mythology myths or curse, we know everyone that Durvasha Muni is with Shakuntala and the Krishna with Ashwathama, that we know. And one Roman that breaking the mirror. वो एक है ना, breaking the mirror means breaking of soul, and it brings bad luck for the 7 years. They believe it, and it has come from Roman only, from the Roman side only.
Yeah.
हमारे यहाँ भी कांच टूटना बुराई मानते हैं.
Same मानता है.
हम्म.
Right. So there
कांच
are
टूटना,
videos about
सोना
it
खो
and
जाना.
किसी
दोनों
किसी जगह ना
कई
शुभ
बोलते हैं
मानते
कि
हैं.
बला टल गई, कई बोलते बला टल गई, अच्छा हुआ,
ऐसी
कहीं ये
शुभ
भी
मानते
मानते
हैं.
हैं.
हाँ, कई
कहते
अशुभ मानते हैं.
कि
हाँ.
टूटने से ना वो कष्ट मिट जाते हैं,
हाँ, अभी
कष्ट
थोड़े में
कट
ही वो हो
जाते हैं।
जाता है, थोड़े में छुटकारा हो जाता है, ऐसे भी कहते हैं कहीं ना.
हाँ, शुभ
तो
मानते हैं
अच्छा
कई
है
लोग.
अगर वो थॉट अच्छा है
हाँ, बी
एक
है ना.
पॉजिटिव.
ये भी कहते हैं ना,
Be
जैसे दूध
positive.
दूध
सोचने के
उबल
लिए ये
जाता है,
है कि हाँ ये टूट गया, इस पर कष्ट निकल गया.
जैसे
हाँ, वैसे ही.
हमारा दूध उबल जाता है, कई बार उफन जाता है, तो हम लोग कई लोग उसको बुरा मानते हैं,
हाँ, पर
और
साउथ
कई
में तो
कहते हैं कि
जान
अगर
करके
उफन जाता
उबालते
है तो
हैं.
कष्ट कटते हैं।
हाँ, पर साउथ में तो ज्यादा उबालते हैं,
साउथ
उबलते
में
हुए.
अच्छा मानते
जानबूझ
हैं.
के भी
हाँ,
लोग
एक
अच्छा
एक
मानते
यहाँ
हैं
किसी
साउथ
के
में.
रिचुअल है, जब गृह प्रवेश में वो स्पेशल दूध निकालते हैं.
हाँ, उबलता हुआ
हमारे
नीचे
यहाँ
गिरता है. हाँ,
हमारे
वो
यहाँ
साइड
जब
में भी
ब्राइड आती है
दिखता
ना,
है इस साइड.
हमारे यहाँ
हाँ,
जब
गृह
ब्राइड आती है,
प्रवेश में
Adam
करते
तो
हैं
decode.
ऐसे।
हमारे यहाँ ब्राइड
अगर
के
दूध
टाइम पर
गिरता है
करते हैं.
तो प्रॉस्पेरिटी आती है.
हाँ,
हम्म.
हाँ,
प्रॉस्पेरिटी बोलते हैं उसके लिए.
हाँ, सबका अपना अपना वो है.
सबका
हाँ.
अपना अपना है. हमारे यहाँ जब ब्राइड आती है तो उसको किचन में लेके जाती है, तब हम दूध
Exactly
उबालते
is
हैं उसके
supposed.
सामने,
What if
उबलता हुआ
Adam was
दिखाते
the
हैं
first
उसको.
human?
गिराते हैं.
नहीं, हम लोग के यहाँ तो वो है ना, वही गृह
गिराते
प्रवेश के
नहीं है,
समय
बस उबलता हुआ
इतना
दिखाते
उबालो
हैं
कि
कि
थोड़ा सा
फला
गिर जाए.
फूला घर है ये, मतलब ना.
हम्म.
there
हाँ,
are
समृद्धि,
lots of myths
प्रॉस्पेरिटी.
and mysteries and
Prosperity.
what if. Sorry.
हाँ जी.
There are series of myths and what if. तो
That's it.
हाँ, YouTube पे short वीडियोस है. If you
हम्म,
want
हम्म.
to see, I can show you that.
And Archana, this time when I was going to Japan, the first time I have observed in the plane, first time in my life, okay, there is no 13 number seat, you know,
13
because my seat number was 14. So after I was asking I was asking for my seat, and she told me that air hostess, can you sit here? This is your number. I was surprised. मेरे आगे 12 है और ये 14 कैसे? मेरा तो number 14 है. Then when I look around, I found there is no 13 number seats. It is something like the hospital में ना, there is no 13 number room and 13 number bed.
You know,
And
कई
my
बिल्डिंग में 13 फ्लोर ही नहीं होता है, कई
इसलिए
बिल्डिंग में 13
bad
फ्लोर.
omen मानते हैं ना, तो इसीलिए. तो
नहीं, नहीं,
this is first time I have noticed in the aeroplane. First time.
13 नंबर का
नंबर से
मैंने
ना
अभी
हाथ
पढ़ा
से
था.
अनलकी
हाथ से के लिए
13,
होता है ना वो।
अनलकी 13 बोलते हैं, अशुभ मानते हैं, इसलिए
अशुभ
अवॉइड
मानते
किया
हैं.
होगा.
but
नहीं,
बहुत
13
सारे
नंबर
office
अशुभ क्यों
में
मानते
13
हैं,
नंबर नहीं होता.
इसके लिए एक स्टोरी है.
हाँ, स्टोरी है वो 13th February समथिंग, एक 1907 की एक स्टोरी है कुछ.
13th उसमें की है, 14th सेंचुरी की है,
हाँ
कि
जी, हाँ
राजा
जी.
एक फिलिप
Yes.
था, जो उसने 13 अक्टूबर को ही वहां पर उसने चढ़ाई की थी उस पर, अपने उसको हराने के लिए. तो खुद और एक पोप साथ में मिलकर, उस पोप के साथ मिलकर उसने ये बनाए थे
Yes.
स्ट्रेटेजी कि हम लोग इस पर आक्रमण करते हैं और ये फिर इसको हम हराते हैं. बट उसमें हुआ ये कि उसका जो मेन लीडर था, जो उसके फोर्स का, वो कैप्चर हो गया उनके, और उसको उन्होंने 7 साल तक बहुत टॉर्चर किया, 7 साल तक जिंदा रखा, बहुत टॉर्चर किया. और ये लोग उसके बाद कुछ नहीं किए, ना ही पोप ने कुछ किया और ना ही उस राजा ने कुछ किया. किंग फिलिप था वो. तो इसने जो है उनको कर्स दिया कि आप लोग, उसके बाद 7 साल के बाद उसको एकदम जला दिया सबके सामने. तो उसने जो है उसी समय कर्स दिया था इनको कि आप दोनों भी बहुत जल्दी मरोगे, जैसे मैं मर रहा हूँ, आप लोग भी बहुत जल्दी मरोगे. और आपका पूरा राजा का पूरा परिवार भी खत्म हो जाएगा। और वही हुआ कि उस दिन जो है ना राजा
होता
और
है।
वो दोनों ही जल्दी खत्म हो गए। और राजा का 3 बेटे थे, तीनों बेटे जल्दी जल्दी मर गए। एक ग्रैंड चाइल्ड था, वो भी मर गया। तब से इन लोग मान लिए कि ये 13th डेट जो है ये
अनलकी है।
अशुभ है। हाँ,
And
नहीं,
अनलकी
this is
जैसे
है।
जैसे का तैसा तो होता है, इसी जन्म में होता है वो,
हाँ,
कोई किसी के
कर्मा
साथ।
and
कर्मा तो
historically
होता ही है,
associated,
कर्मा।
and this is historically associated with Jesus' crucifixion also, the 13th of Friday.
होटल्स में भी 13 नंबर का फ्लोर नहीं
हाँ,
होता।
13th the Friday को he was crucified ना, so this has come
Right.
from the Western culture only कि 13th is the unlucky number. Yeah.
From Western culture only. Well, correct.
But my previous house was on 13th floor.
और जिसका
Okay.
बर्थडे 13 को ही हो वो फिर
इंडियंस नहीं मानते थे
होते
इसको।
हैं
वेस्टर्न
होते हैं
कल्चर से
13
ही आया है।
1 + 3
होते
is
हैं
4।
लोगों के 13 में बर्थडे क्यों नहीं होते होते हैं and even in the hotels also in the rooms you will not find the
बर्थडे है
13 number
13,
rooms.
वही कह रहा 13 नंबर पर बर्थडे है तो सेलिब्रेट करते ही हैं।
करते ही है वो तो क्या है।
हाँ।
और हमारे यहाँ तो
नहीं, किसी
मतलब एक है,
किसी को प्रॉब्लम भी नहीं होता है।
मतलब उनका तो हर काम ही 13th को हुआ है कि उनका बर्थडे भी 13th है, उनकी मैरिज भी 13th को हुई है, और उनकी जॉब भी 13th को ही लगी थी।
उनके लिए
सब
लकी होगा
coins
ना।
है।
होगा उनके लिए।
हाँ, यही मैं कह रही हूँ, उनके लिए लकी
हम
होगा।
इंडियंस इसलिए बोलते हैं 13th इज अनलकी फॉर सम, नॉट
हाँ,
फॉर
lucky
एवरीवन,
for some
लकी फॉर सम।
अनलकी फॉर सम, लकी फॉर
lucky for some lucky for others.
So
Can't-
you
we
want
can't
to
say
watch
somebody
all
is
those
lucky.
stories?
क्या कह रहे हैं अर्चना जी?
YouTube shorts
What if
देखने हैं?
Adam wasn't the first human?
हाँ, दिखा दीजिए।
देखो
दिखाती हूँ।
वो एक बार में देखो तो सब कुछ याद भी नहीं रहता है, इसलिए अच्छा हुआ उसको देखा तो।
हाँ, वही मेरे का रिवीजन होती है हमारी।
नहीं, मैंने तो
हाँ।
पहले देखा नहीं था। मैं तो मतलब इसके पहले सेशन मैंने किया नहीं था, तो मुझे नहीं पता था।
ये बहुत
आज first
पहले
time
हुआ
देखा।
था ये सेशन बहुत पहले हुआ था काफी
हाँ,
दिनों
तो बहुत पहले मैंने ज्वाइन करती थी ना, तो उस समय नहीं देखा था मैंने, तो अभी देखा।
अच्छा, कम टैगू कम।
Okay.
Human? What if there was an entire civilization before him, an advanced world that rose and fell before Genesis even begins? Ancient texts from multiple cultures describe it, a pre-Adamic world ruled by different beings, a creation that God destroyed and started over. And the evidence, it's hidden in plain sight. What if Adam wasn't the first human? What if there was what exactly is supposed to be down there? According to these ancient sources, the Ark of the Covenant, the gold-covered chest containing the 10 Commandments, Aaron's rod, and a jar of manna, the most sacred object in Judaism, last seen before Babylon's invasion. The original menorah, the 7-branch golden lampstand from the holy place. Sacred vessels, the altar of incense, priestly garments, anointing oil, and other temple implements. The Urim and Thummim, mysterious objects used by the high priest for divine guidance. Gold and silver, enormous wealth described in the copper scroll, hidden to prevent it from falling into enemy hands. Ancient scrolls. Some traditions claim original Torah scrolls and prophetic writings were sealed in the chambers. Jewish tradition holds that these items were never destroyed. They were hidden, preserved, waiting for the third temple to be built. And if these texts are accurate, everything is still there, sealed in chambers that haven't been opened in over 2,500 years. What exactly is supposed? Before the Babylonians destroyed Solomon's temple in 586 BC, something was hidden beneath it. According to ancient Jewish texts, the Ark of the Covenant, sacred vessels, and temple treasures were concealed in secret chambers, sealed and protected from invaders. And if these texts are accurate, they're still there, right now, beneath the Temple Mount. This is the truth about.
I think these are all related to Judaism and same kind of reels I'm able to see over there. So
I have found that most inhuman beliefs only Greek mythology had.
Yeah,
With that was very inhuman. In case
very
somebody
inhuman.
steals
Very
the food,
inhuman.
so if somebody steals the food,
mm-hmm.
he's killed and he's put on on the rock, I think, so that eagle should eat the
Eagle should eat their body. Mhm.
person. That's so
That
inhuman.
is the.
In Parsis also they
That is
keep
after
the
the death.
body.
That is after the death. After
Yeah,
the
after
death.
death. After death,
After
yeah.
that, they keep in a certain place where these
Yeah.
birds will come and eat. They think that
Yeah.
after their death, their body is coming to some work or so. मतलब मरने के बाद भी
भी किसी
हमारा
के
वो
काम
खत्म
आ
नहीं
रही
होता
है,
है,
किसी के
किसी के
काम आ
काम
रही
आएगा. Yes.
है.
But this is in Greek mythology. What she is saying, it is you are alive. Then if you are making any bad thing, so they give the punishment like this. It is in
Punishment.
God's yes, it is punished. It is punishment, and Parsis is something else.
That no, I just missed that, sir.
Acha, acha.
So there is no cremation for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have
No
found one
cremation in
video.
Parsis. They just
Parsis.
leave them for the vultures to.
You don't need a second.
Parsis leave the dead bodies for the vultures to
Yeah.
consume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will.
Yeah, it is there in the Bombay, but in Delhi they generally जो जैसे होता है ना graving करते हैं. In Delhi, so they don't have that much of that space, but in Bombay they have this facility.
Bombay there is place.
Yeah.
My neighbor does like that.
Originally, it is like that.
So there is one video. There are 30 mysteries of the world. If you want to see.
Yeah.
Please.
Those are mysteries. Okay.
अभी देख रहे थे ना, अभी मिस्ट्रीज का ही देख रहे थे ना.
हाँ,
Mysteries ही
but
देखा.
वो एक ही टॉपिक से रिलेटेड थे. ये इसमें 30 डिफरेंट मिस्ट्रीज है ऐसा.
30.
30 देखते हैं क्या है इसमें. मैंने भी देखा नहीं है.
30 mysteries.
Mysteries, greatest mysteries.
Mysteries.
This thing off.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most fascinating discoveries and events that still remain unsolvable to this day.
Should have been so routine. There are 59 flights a week from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing.
Number 30, the Overton Bridge, West Dumbartonshire, Scotland. Dog lovers may want to brace themselves. Upon first glance, there isn't anything outwardly unsettling about Overton Bridge. Yet, the Scottish structure has been the cause of several beloved pets' demise.
So tell me about what happened when you walked Hendrix over the bridge.
In the 1950s, dogs began leaping off the side for seemingly no reason. One moment they would be walking obediently with their owners, and the next they would be gone. This would even occur in well-behaved canines.
Was Hendrix prone to jumping?
No.
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 It's completely random.
Aye.
One dog specialist theorized that the scent of mink urine in the area could be driving them to jump. However, the presence of mink in the area is questioned. To this day, the phenomenon remains unsolved. So if you have to take your pooch across, we recommend keeping them on a tighter leash than usual.
Serious dictation was driving me crazy, so I switched to whisper flow. Here's why I'll never go back. First off,
Number 29, the Crooked Forest, West Pomerania, Poland. Trees are fairly standard beings, with most growing from roots below ground. Yet the Crooked Forest in Poland appears to deviate from that norm entirely. Around 1930, a new grove of pines was added. Rather than stand up straight, they curved at the base, appearing to sit atop the dirt.
The trees are all the same age and they all bend north.
Researchers are fairly certain human interaction was the cause, but why this shape was desired or how it was achieved still evades them. One of the leading theories is that they were grown that way to make carpentry easier, but even that has remained unproven.
That particular theory maintains that the trees were shaped before 1930, but were abandoned before they could be harvested with the outbreak of World War II.
The forest is available to visit, giving people from all over the world a chance to puzzle over the anomaly for themselves. Number 28. The Paracas Candelabra, Paracas Peninsula, Peru. Archaeologists are used to having to come up with explanations for the things they find, but not everything comes with a set background. Some finds are simply too bizarre to understand easily, such as the Paracas Candelabra in Peru. Coming in at over 600 feet tall, the odd candelabra-shaped geoglyph has no established meaning or explanation for its existence. The only clue offering any sort of information was a collection of pottery found nearby, allowing experts to date the landmark as far back as 200 BCE. How or why the civilization at the time went about constructing it has remained elusive, making this one of the longest unsolved mysteries in human history. Number 27. The Potomsky Crater, Patom Highlands, Russia. Despite the huge size of the Potomsky Crater, how it came to be has eluded even the brightest experts.
Though now it's more famous as the Potomsky Crater. Locals had dubbed it Fire Eagle Nest, probably because it looks like a giant bird nest sitting on a hill.
7 hours 30 minutes, sleep score 86, and deep sleep.
Located in the thickest of dense forestation, the formation stands at well over 500 feet tall, causing it to stick out like a sore thumb among the trees. Many of the current estimates are based on some level of scientific reasoning, from past volcanic activity to the landing spot of a fallen meteorite.
They believe that the space rock entered the Earth's atmosphere at incredible speeds, but had been slowed down quite a bit by the time it struck the surface.
A conference was even held in 2010 in order to find out the truth, and even that collection of impressive thinkers couldn't come to a definitive conclusion. Now it serves as verification that some answers may just always be outside our reach. Number 26. The Oak Island Money Pit, Nova Scotia, Canada. An island in Nova Scotia offers adventurers the chance to go on a real-life treasure hunt themselves, if they dare.
So the hope is that once we get down 50, 60 feet, we'll be able to drill horizontally, vertically.
Yep.
For centuries, people have tried locating the supposed riches buried on Oak Island. What they're looking for has never been confirmed, with rumors ranging from the Holy Grail to pirate's gold.
Since the team has already obtained evidence of both silver and gold in this area, could they be close to finally locating the so-called Chapel Vault?
Those who've attempted to find it have never succeeded, thanks to things like sinkholes and a deadly curse that is claimed to have taken the lives of several men. With no verifiable evidence, some have wondered if the treasure even exists, or if it's simply just a hole.
If you tried to do a probability window, say, about the various theories, they all fit.
They pretty much do.
If it's the latter, it'll have been the biggest goose chase in history. But for now, the mystery lives on. Number 25. The Lost Colony of Roanoke, North Carolina, United States of America. There are some occurrences we've only begun to question recently, but some have been puzzled over for centuries.
Today, the Outer Banks of North Carolina are an inviting tourist destination. But 400 years ago, they were quite the opposite.
The establishment of Roanoke was meant to be a symbol of new life in America. When John White returned to the colony from a supply run in 1590, he could have never anticipated what would await him. Nothing.
His daughter and granddaughter are missing. In fact, there are no people and no houses. What remains is the wooden palisade that they built, and of course, the CRO carving that was found. What could this cryptic message possibly mean?
Over 100 people disappeared, leaving behind no sign of life other than a cryptic message. There have been countless theories, both optimistic and pessimistic. Some believe the colonists were able to start anew among neighboring tribes, while others are adamant they were killed. There's even speculation that they left in order to make the founder look bad. With no answer in sight, it remains one of the country's oldest enigmas. Number 24. The Hessdalen Lights, Hessdalen Valley, Norway. Reports of strange lights are nothing new. For years, people have used them as evidence of the existence of aliens, as is the case with these which have appeared in Norway.
I was standing out in the mountain together with some friends, and we saw this huge light in the mountainside, and then I knew there was a real phenomenon.
They were first observed during the 1930s and have varied in both color and speed. This has made their origin hard to pin down, leading to observers creating ideas of their own.
When you have studied so much and you haven't found any answer which lies inside ordinary known physics, it must be something new.
Besides the usual claims of extraterrestrial beings, some scientists have posited more logical explanations, such as the explosion of airborne particles or the result of electricity coming from quartz in the nearby valley. Despite decades of research, no definitive conclusions have been made, meaning there is a chance they could be proof of other intelligent life beyond our atmosphere.
We don't know.
Do you know what I'm wearing today? I'm wearing the most special promise I've ever made, my promise to children with UNICEF.
Yet. And that makes it pretty exciting.
Number 23, Plain of Jars, Sianghuang Plateau, Laos. Some phenomena are unexplainable due to human activities. The Plain of Jars is one of the planet's most elusive areas, but not for a lack of interest.
You're taking in this vista, this view of these megalithic jars. You knew that ancient man had built them.
It consists of thousands of stone receptacles, with some dating back to 660 BCE. Originally, it was believed that a lost civilization of giants placed them there. More recently, it's believed that they were used in ancient burials.
Now, another one that's out there is that giants once roamed the earth, and these were vessels that the giants constructed.
Unfortunately, it's impossible to truly verify, as it was targeted by United States forces during the Laotian Civil War. Over 250 million bombs were dropped, but 80 million never went off and remain active today. This makes it difficult to examine many areas of the Plain of Jars to find answers.
You know, I really don't know why they were there, but I'm in awe. And as I said, it was a spiritual experience.
Number 22, Lead Masks Case, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Even the most dedicated true crime fans will be stumped by this event. With no known killer, motive, or even a cause of death, it's no wonder why the 1966 lead mask case immediately went cold.
But after decades, experts are still baffled by the cause of Miguel Jose Viana and Manuel Pereira da Cruz's deaths.
The two victims were discovered side by side, clad in suits and lead eye masks, alongside a set of bizarre instructions.
1630, be at the specified location. 1830, ingest capsules. After the effect, protect metals, await signal mask.
It didn't help that authorities waited weeks to perform an autopsy, leaving the organs too decomposed to properly study. While murder was the immediate assumption, the lack of struggle has led to more unique hypotheses, such as the pair attempting to communicate with aliens and accidentally dying. Whether it was by their own hand or someone else's, the details of their fate remain sought after to this day. Number 21, the Mary Celeste, Nova Scotia. Ships going missing or even being destroyed at sea is nothing new. However, the vessel being discovered with no sign of the crew is another story entirely.
You ever hear of a ship called the Mary Celeste?
The Mary Celeste was last seen leaving a port in November of 1872, with nothing appearing to be amiss. Just a month later, another ship came upon it and found that everyone aboard had vanished.
अभी अपने फार्म पर 5 लीटर वाली स्टील कैन की पैकेजिंग चल रही है, अपनी पूरी टीम लगी हुई है। पैकेजिंग देखिए आप, कैन के चारों साइड हम इस टाइप से फोम डालते हैं ताकि कोरियर के दौरान कैन डैमेज भी ना हो, लीकेज भी ना हो, ताकि घी आपको एकदम सेफ डिलीवरी हो जाए। आपने
Nothing. No passengers, no crew, no captain, no sign of distress.
There were signs of previous struggles, including ripped sails and a missing lifeboat, but no signs of current life. There were several personal items left alone, indicating they hadn't been targeted by thieves. The remaining guesses range from insurance fraud to attacks from a giant squid. Unfortunately, false evidence has been published over the years, making the truth all the more unreachable.
Trying to understand why an experienced captain would do the one thing that really is unthinkable, which is to leave your vessel.
Number 20. The Hector Cloud. The Northern Territory of Australia experiences a very bizarre phenomenon every year between September and March. Around 3 every afternoon, a huge thundercloud forms near the Tiwi Islands. The cloud has been named Hector by the locals, or more colloquially, Hector the Convector. This cloud was once used by pilots and sailors, and it's now the subject of intense meteorological study. We understand that it's caused by sea breezes interacting with the topography of the islands, but much about the cloud is still unknown. Perhaps future research will unveil more details about old Hector the Convector. Number 19. The Green Children of Woolpit, Suffolk, England. With no hard proof, some events end up sounding more like fiction.
One year, during the harvest in the village of Woolpit in Suffolk, England, about 10 miles from Bury St Edmunds, reapers working near old wolf pits discovered 2 young children, a girl and a boy.
The mysterious case of 2 green-skinned children arriving in a small English town sounds like pure fantasy, but according to some records, it was an actual occurrence that stumped people even back then.
The children were eventually taken to the local bigwig, Sir Richard de Calne, who was equally baffled by them, though he took them into his household.
They'd arrived randomly, spoke another language, and ate nothing but raw beans. They slowly lost their vibrant pigment, and one even learned English. However, even that wasn't enough to learn the truth of their origins. While the most accepted explanation is that they were sick Flemish citizens, there isn't enough evidence, leading to fringe theories that they came from an unknown civilization.
Proponents assert that the children could have been English, but like many at the time, only spoke their village's unique dialect, some of which were unintelligible to outsiders.
Regardless, it remains one of the most bizarre instances in history, if it ever even happened at all. Number 18. The Kentucky Meat Shower. This sounds disgusting, and trust us, it is. Around 11 a.m. on March 3, 1876, small pieces of gristly meat began raining over Bath County, Kentucky.
You may have seen a meteor shower, but you've never seen a shower meatier than this.
Some people believed that it was divine intervention. Other people actually tasted it to see what kind of meat it was.
Ugh, I'm not eating mystery meat.
Samples of the meat were sent to the Newark Scientific Association, which concluded that it was lung tissue. The people who didn't blame God attributed the event to vultures, who are prone to vomit their food when escaping from predators. It's likely that a kettle of vultures got spooked, took flight, and puked partially chewed meat all over the county. But no one really knows for sure.
This is the quickest way to go from AI beginner to AI fluent in 2026. Watch this.
Number 17. The Flannan Isles Lighthouse Mystery.
I think it's reasonable to assume that they must have seen something floating in the water and went to salvage it and got caught in the process.
Found off the west coast of Scotland is the Flannan Isles Lighthouse, which saw a very creepy disappearance in December of 1900. A passing steamer called Arctur noticed that the light wasn't on, and they reported this to the Northern Lighthouse Board. A relief vessel went to the island and found the 3 lighthouse keepers missing. They also saw extensive damage indicating that a strong storm had passed through the area. The initial investigation revealed that the men had been swept off the island by a giant swell.
The Flannan Isles light had just been established a few months before the disappearance of the 3 keepers. And it may be that the keepers were not entirely familiar with the local conditions.
This has remained the primary explanation, but the case is still being extensively researched, and different theories are continuously put forward. Number 16. The Body of Shinshui.
A body reported to be unlike any other ancient body ever found.
In 1968, diggers were working in the Chinese city of Changsha when they stumbled upon the tomb of Shinshui. She was a noblewoman who died in either 169 or 168 BCE. What makes this find so startling is the remarkable condition of Shinshui's mummy. Her muscles, skin, hair, and organs were very well preserved. And she even had a small amount of blood still in her veins.
2,000-year-old woman, so well preserved, Peng and his colleagues could dissect her like a modern corpse.
Experts believe that the deep underground setting and coffin type ensured the preservation of the body, but some questions still remain. For example, they don't know why this particular body was so well preserved when not many others have been found under similar circumstances. Number 15. The Pollock Sisters. If there's one convincing case of reincarnation, it's the Pollock sisters. The Pollocks were walking to church when they were struck by a car and killed in May of 1957. 17 months later, their mother Florence Pollock gave birth to identical twin girls. The parents immediately noticed similarities to their deceased daughters, like identical scars and birthmarks. The girls also shared eerily similar personality traits and interests. And despite moving away from the area at 9 months old, they both knew their way around when they returned for a visit 4 years later. Some see this as a genuine case of reincarnation. Others believe it's mere coincidence inflated by grieving parents desperate to make connections. What about you?
अरे आप वही हो ना जो सोचते हो कि working hard, sacrificing yourself is the only way to grow.
Number 14. The disappearance of Amelia Earhart.
She was one of the most famous people in the world. People hung on her every word and followed her activities.
There's a very good chance that Amelia Earhart crashed into the ocean. However, no one can make a definitive claim, as nothing has been proven either way. Earhart was an incredibly famous pilot in her day, being the first female to cross the Atlantic and writing numerous books. Earhart was attempting to fly around the globe in 1937 when she disappeared near Howland Island in the Pacific Ocean.
They know from the signal strength that she is coming, but they can't see her, and she can't find the island. It was a headline story for quite a while, and then gradually it died down.
Most people believe that she simply ran out of fuel and crashed, but no evidence of her plane has ever been found. Another popular theory suggests that Earhart crashed near or landed on Gardner Island in Kiribati, but again, there's no hard evidence to suggest this. All we have is speculation. Number 13. The Circleville Letters. In 1977, residents of Circleville, Ohio began receiving threatening and harassing anonymous letters.
We're not talking about a couple or hundreds, but thousands of letters. They all had the same block lettering, and they would target politicians and leaders, but also just plain folks who had nothing to do with the running of Circleville at all.
The letters had very distinctive handwriting and contained accusations of embezzlement, affairs, and even murders. Ron Gillespie died under mysterious circumstances after receiving a phone call and announcing that he was going to confront the writer.
Was Ron Gillespie's death an accident? Was he really drunk that night? And why had one bullet been fired from his handgun?
His wife was nearly killed by a gun in a booby trap attached to a sign. It turned out that Paul Freshour, Ron's brother-in-law, bought the gun, and his handwriting was deemed to match the letters.
You know, I can't blame the jury because the jury didn't hear all the evidence. But I just couldn't believe it. I was really in shock.
Yet during his time in prison, people in town continued receiving them, even while Freshour was in solitary confinement. If Freshour was the writer, he wasn't working alone. We are writing this off as an unsolved mystery.
4 decades later, the debate over the writer's identity continues.
Number 12. Havana Syndrome.
Doctors said that Diplomat's brain matter had actually changed.
जब से तुम्हें देखा है, sleep score 22 हो गया है, stress score 46 for resting heart rate.
What started out as a mysterious nuisance became a suspected instrument of attack.
Since 2016, U.S. officials and military personnel have been experiencing strange symptoms. These include pain, ringing in the ears, as well as difficulty with cognitive processes.
A source says starting last December, the U.S. officials were exposed to a sonic device, which experts suggest could produce sound waves below and above human hearing, which could cause these symptoms.
Named for the location it was initially reported, the embassy in Havana, Cuba, Havana Syndrome has since been reported at U.S. bases and embassies in various countries. While some of those suffering from it have existing head injuries that could explain the symptoms, not all of them do.
The recording is just one of the many sounds taken in Cuba that led investigators to initially believe it was a sonic weapon.
Proposed explanations have included a psychogenic illness, the sound of crickets, or even a microwave weapon. While the CIA has concluded that most cases were probably not caused by a foreign power, 24 cases remain unexplained. Accidental or targeted, Havana Syndrome is yet to be fully understood.
Who or what caused it? A mystery.
The United States government is still not sure who or what is responsible for those health attacks.
Number 11. The Max Headroom hijackings. On November 22nd in 1987, the broadcast of 2 Chicago TV stations was interrupted. Both interruptions featured an unidentified man dressed as the British AI character Max Headroom.
Reporters finally did.
The masked man disparaged the local station he was interrupting, made several pop culture references, and got spanked by a fly swatter. The heavily distorted audio, rotating background, and masked men gave the hijackings an eerie, almost David Lynchian feel.
My brother is wearing the other one. But it's dirty.
The hijackers couldn't be identified, nor did they come forward after the statute of limitations on their crime expired. These broadcasts seem destined to remain as mystifying as their contents.
Take some pretty significant equipment, technical equipment, and some knowledge of broadcast frequencies, microwave frequencies.
Number 10. Salish Sea Feet.
வணக்கம், நாங்கள் திருப்பூரை சேர்ந்த டிஷர்ட் மேனுஃபேக்சரர்ஸ். இது எங்களுடைய பியூர் காட்டன்.
Since 2007, residents of Washington, USA and British Columbia, Canada have found some rather morbid jetsam washed up on their beaches. Detached human feet. Most of them were found still inside shoes.
Now you also have to consider whether or not this could be a serial killer, somebody who right now is underneath the radar.
But physical anthropologists caution that while the spate of discoveries was new and startling, public awareness could have prompted people to pay attention to stray running shoes.
Foul play has been ruled out, as most of the identified victims were involved in accidents or took their own lives. It's been speculated that the feet detached as the bodies decayed, and that the air pockets and buoyant foam in sneakers floated them to the surface.
Too many unanswered questions remain. Who do the feet belong to? Why are they always in running shoes? Could something truly insidious be at play in the region?
But it still seems extremely odd that there have been so many, and all around the same area.
There are still far more questions than answers. Are these cases connected? How did the people die? And how many more feet are out there still to be found?
Number 9. The hum.
It's an unsolved mystery, keeping this neighborhood awake at night.
It sounds like 50 trucks starting up when it's very loud.
This is kind of like the Havana syndrome, only far more widespread and involving people not related to the American government. Reports of a general humming or rumbling noise have been made all across the world, including Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and Taos, New Mexico, both of which have their own specially named hums.
It's like a very low, almost like a vibration. You think you hear it, but it could be your mind playing tricks on you.
While this sounds enormously irritating, help has been rare to non-existent. No one knows what's causing the humming, with different areas reporting their own possible causes. For example, the Windsor hum reportedly ended in 2020 when the blast furnaces of a local plant were deactivated. Others have blamed the likes of tinnitus, animals, and jet streams. Number 8. The dancing plague. The medieval period was a scary time, full of misery and poverty. These issues may have led to the dancing plague. The curious mania affected Europe throughout much of this period, spanning from the 14th to the 17th century. People would take to the streets and dance until they hurt themselves or collapsed from exhaustion.
Some sources claim that, for at least some portion of the outbreak, as many as 15 people were dying a day. And if it's not already obvious, the dancers weren't having fun.
Sometimes good-intentioned musicians would accompany the dancers, believing that their sounds would cure the affliction.
The plan was a disaster. Rather than tire out the dancers, the music and the stage only encouraged more people to join in.
It was the best that anyone could do, because no one knew how to treat it. Even to this day, the incident is poorly understood. Some attribute it to the general stress of living in medieval Europe, others to ergot poisoning and religious cults. Number 7. The Black Dahlia. Los Angeles, California, United States of America. The solutions to some crimes that have been investigated for decades, such as the murder of Elizabeth Short, are still just as elusive as they were when they first began.
This is Los Angeles' most notorious unsolved murder.
The aspiring actress who became known as the Black Dahlia met her brutal fate in 1947, and since then, authorities have not come any closer to finding the killer. Besides the untrue details about Short herself that circulated throughout the media, over 500 people have confessed, some of whom were born after the crime took place.
The killer even wrote letters taunting the police and also sent Elizabeth Short's personal address book to a local newspaper.
Celebrities and normal people alike have been named as potential perpetrators, with each lead eventually ending in a dead end. Despite the lack of results, many still are interested in finally giving her justice.
This case, this investigation has been described as a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma, and I can't think of a more perfect description than that.
Number 6, Tromp family breakdown. No, Tromp with an O. In 2016, Mark and Jacoba Tromp took their 3 adult children on an impromptu road trip hundreds of miles north, leaving their house unlocked. Mark seemed convinced that people were out to get them and forbade phones. Their son Mitchell brought one anyway, but it was later thrown out the car window. He left, not understanding his parents' paranoia. Later, the daughters left too, stealing a car before splitting up. One, Rihanna, was found in a catatonic state. Ultimately, all returned safely, but no explanation has been given specifically for what happened. Whether it was shared psychosis or someone was out to get the Tromps, the case has fascinated the world ever since.
I thought at first that Trump had gone missing. When I saw that, I went, Trump's gone missing. I went, well, there you go. No. Speaking of delusion.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Number 5, the Oakville Blobs. In 1994, Oakville, Washington experienced perhaps the strangest weather phenomenon of the last few decades. It rained blobs. Strange goo fell from the sky over a period of several weeks, blanketing the town in ooze.
And it made people sick.
I got sick, my wife got sick, my daughter.
What's even more bizarre is that the residents experienced a widespread illness that lasted for several weeks too. So what could this goo have been?
Someone theorized that since the Navy had been conducting live bombing runs at sea, they might have blown up a school of jellyfish. And of course, this jellyfish would have been thrown up into the air and floated 50 miles inland, and over a period of 3 weeks, fallen 6 times.
Was it evaporated bits of jellyfish that reformed in a cloud? Or maybe waste from an airplane? The most troubling theory is that the event was a military experiment on U.S. soil.
Translation: germ warfare.
There are a whole mess of theories about this messy and weird weather.
I have an excellent business idea for women in 2024. Start an online.
Number 4, the WOW signal.
If we did discover an actual signal from an alien civilization, it would profoundly change human beings.
Despite some very extensive and incredibly expensive efforts, we have found no hard evidence of extraterrestrial life, at least not public evidence. But we do have the WOW signal. It was August 15, 1977, and a telescope at Ohio State University picked up a very bizarre radio wave. The telescope recorded the signal for a solid 72 seconds.
So imagine you're listening closely for something as quiet as a pin to drop. Bam, you hear something as loud as books slamming on a table. That's what happened.
A few days later, astronomer Jerry Eman was studying the data when he stumbled across the signal. He circled the series of letters and numbers in red ink and wrote a very enthusiastic wow beside it. Wow is right. To this day, no one knows what caused the signal, and despite significant effort, it has never been found again.
It is the best evidence we know of coming from some other civilization.
Number 3, D.B. Cooper. The story of D.B. Cooper has captured our collective imaginations for decades.
Well, he either got away or else he sure made a big hole in the ground up there.
On November 24th, 1971, a man largely known as D.B. Cooper hijacked an airplane for the modern equivalent of $1.3 million. The plane landed in Seattle, and Cooper allowed the passengers to disembark. He then ordered that the empty aircraft be flown to Mexico City. But shortly after takeoff, Cooper opened the door and jumped out with his parachute. And with that, he disappeared from both the plane and history.
His identity is never uncovered, nor is his body. It's impossible.
Neither the man nor the money has ever been found, but a small portion was discovered on the Columbia River in 1980. It's likely that Cooper died in the jump, but we just don't know for sure. Number 2, the disappearance of Malaysian Airlines Flight 370.
Families waiting for MH370. They still wait, and really, they don't know much more than they did that first awful morning.
On March 8, 2014, Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 vanished while flying from Malaysia to China. After a loss of communications and its disappearance from civilian radar, Flight 370 reappeared on military radar, having deviated from its planned flight path.
Approaching the point at which Malaysian air...
You don't need a second job. You just need to know these AI tools.
So... air traffic control will hand over to Vietnam. Then, Captain Zahari makes a last, routine, but now infamous radio transmission.
Good night. Good night, Malaysia. 372.
The disappearance has fascinated the public for years and led to several expensive searches. It seemed impossible for an entire airplane to just go missing in an age where everything can be seen by satellites. Although a few pieces have washed ashore, the bulk of the aircraft and the reason for its deviation remain unclear.
What happened to the flight has haunted the world ever since.
We're not used to planes just disappearing. If they come down, we expect to be able to find out why.
Speculations have run the gamut from a hijacking to being shot down to some kind of equipment failure. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Dyatlov Pass Incident. In 1959, 9 Russian hikers were found dead in the Ural Mountains. All were severely injured, several were undressed, and they had cut their way out of their tent from the inside. Some were burned, and others slightly radioactive. Most seem to have died of hypothermia or their injuries. The case has baffled the public and authorities for over half a century. Theories include an avalanche, an animal attack, or military involvement.
This is the last photo taken by the hikers before they died. It's out of focus, but it seems to show mysterious lights in the sky.
The most plausible theory involves the group camping against a heavy snowbank, which collapsed, leading them to assume an avalanche and freezing after they escaped the tent. But unless there really was outside involvement, only the victims know the truth.
The evidence here is both extensive, yet maddeningly incomplete. And until we fill in the gaps, the case cannot be fully closed.
Which unexplainable event do you hope gets solved in your lifetime? Let us know in the comments below.
Some of these topics we have already taken like around.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Then Malaysian Airlines.
Malaysian plane.
Wow.
When in USA they were saying they were showing na one peculiar sound they heard one night, like कोई bust हुआ है, कोई factory में, this type of sound. So it immediately struck in my mind about that wow sound. And I didn't understand about that Machu Picchu. What was that?
So there are some structures.
इस जहाज का तो पता ही नहीं लगा ना, एक जहाज का तो ना कुछ.
तो एक तो सी पे वो साइन था ना, कुछ सी कोस्ट पे वो वाला.
नहीं, वो माचू पिचू है ना, जो माचू पिचू का दिखा रहे थे, एक इतना बड़ा सा स्टैचू, उसके बारे में दिखा रहे थे, शायद ग्रीनरीज थी ना, उसी टाइप. वो मुझको समझ नहीं आया. व्हाट वाज दैट?
और एक वो कूदा क्यों था इतनी करेंसी लेने के बाद, फ्लाई उससे जहाज से कूदा क्यों था वो हवाई जहाज से?
अच्छा, वो पैसे लेके कूदा था.
नहीं, that तो I know. बट एक माचू पिचू का भी दिखा रहे थे, इतना बड़ा माचू पिचू का स्टैचू दिखाया बहुत दूर से. That portion I didn't understand. What is that? What is that? That the entire episode I didn't understand. So और उसका भी तो पता ही था, वो शिप का भी पता था, that वो एक शिप वहां पे फंसा था. Then another ship found and they fetched the ship. They sent their officers to that ship, but next morning they found that their officers are not there, but that ship is still lying over there. ये तो I know. This thing I think we had done in the one of the session also this thing.
Yeah. There were so many sessions we had taken.
Almost it was it was there.
Hello.
Like this. We have already exceeded the time, but
Yeah.
let me know which topic we should take next.
आप बताओ, you are the master यार.
आप
You
ढूंढ
tell.
के लाते हो ना, ढूंढ के लाते हो खूब.
हाँ, you tell. फिर तो तुम बताते हो, फिर हम जाके स्टडी करते हैं.
अच्छा, this topic, तो I'll think over it and see. Next, in one of the sessions, I will suggest.
Yeah.
Acha, about the next topic. Acha, one thing I wanted to know, this Tambola, how to join?
Tambola from app you have to join.
Okay, when I click the app, it will say, enter your phone number. I will enter my phone number. Then it says, give your OTP. Should I do that?
They send an OTP to you, and that OTP you have to fill that.
You have to do that, and after that your app is open. So every
साइन अप नहीं किया होएगा ना, साइन अप नहीं किया होएगा ना, इसलिए होता है.
That's for the verification. This is the verification code.
You have to make your profile on app, and after that you are ready to use the app.
ऐप इंस्टॉल किया हुआ है आपने?
ऐप इंस्टॉल किया था बहुत पहले, इसलिए तो
नहीं तो फिर अभी रिफ्रेश करना पड़ेगा, रिफ्रेश करना पड़ेगा.
आप इसको अनइंस्टॉल करके then again you installed it.
हाँ, फिर साइन अप करो और फिर हो जाएगा.
हाँ.
अच्छा, ठीक है, अब समझ आया.
Next topic is mysteries. Sorry. Next topic is secret. No. Ancient answers. Sorry. Ancient answers. Modern curiosity.
क्या बोल रहे हो? समझ नहीं आया.
समझ में नहीं आया.
आप लोगों को टॉपिक चैट बॉक्स में लिख के दे देती हूँ.
Ancient answer to modern कुछ था ना?
Ancient answers. Modern. ये टॉपिक है.
Modern curiosity.
Ancient answers and modern curiosity. Okay.
This sounds good.
ऐसा डिफिकल्ट टॉपिक है, मुझे बहुत सारे YouTube वीडियोस देखने पड़ेंगे इसके ऊपर.
कल है व्हाट्स कुकिंग
लेट है बिकॉज ट्यूसडे कुछ भी नहीं होता था ना, इसके लिए हम लोग ने एक सेशन तो रखा है इवनिंग का.
5 o'clock?
नो, 7 o'clock को होगा व्हाट्स कुकिंग.
अच्छा,
आज मैं डोसे बना रही थी.
और
अच्छे से
हम लोग ने वो भी ये किया है, प्लान किया है कि एवरी डे 10 o'clock we will start half an hour का meditation every day. So that will be our routine.
In the morning, na?
In the morning.
Morning. Yeah.
That is okay. Nice. Good.
Yeah. So it will be guided meditation. So आपको कुछ नहीं देख के just वो half an hour करना है. So एक
तो और थोड़ा अर्ली करना था. 9:30 करना था ना.
9:30 के लिए we have to start our work.
अच्छा, आपको करना पड़ता है ना पहले से.
या तो फिर 9 बजे से ही हम लोग को स्टार्ट करके
रखना पड़ता है.
ठीक है. गुड.
9:30 to 10 मतलब आपको ज्वाइनिंग के लिए टाइम है. 10:30 बजे हो जाएगा सबका, मतलब एवरीबॉडी विल बी फ्री.
ठीक है. 10:30 is good.
Yeah, only guided meditation, half an hour.
Okay. मेडिटेशन में भी क्रेडिट मिलते हैं क्या?
हाँ, मिलते हैं ना.
क्रेडिट के लिए मेडिटेशन करना है.
This is a $1 million question.
क्रेडिट्स के लिए ही मेडिटेशन करना है, वैसे नहीं करना.
So sweet.
एरोबिक योगा वगैरह ये करती हूँ, मेडिटेशन में नहीं करती. अभी क्रेडिट मिलेगा तो
I never joined yoga and all. 1-2 बार अनीता ने, जब अनीता ने लिया था तो I took hardly 1 or 2 classes. I never joined.
चलो मेडिटेशन कर लीजिएगा.
Guided meditation अच्छा रहता है. You don't have to do, just imagine, feel that.
Yes, exactly.
ठीक है चलो ओके तो टाइम काफी हो गया
चलेगा
टाइम
see you tomorrow in
आज तक हमें कौन किसको मिला हाउसी हमें लास्ट
वो
में मेरा रह गया
गीता जी को मिला, मेरे को मिला नहीं।
राधा कृष्णन
राधा कृष्ण जी, हाँ यार मेरे को भी दे दो, दो ही तो थे, मेरे को पॉइंट्स दे दो।
और क्या
पहले भी ऐसे ही हुआ था। मैं एक बार जीती थी और मुझे ऐसे ही स्पिन द व्हील में गया मेरा।
वो स्पिन का वो घूमता भी नहीं है, वो
और
स्पिन का ना ठीक से घूमता भी नहीं है, ऐसा था कि स्टिक हो गया एक पे।
और गिफ्ट की जगह ना पॉइंट्स ही दे दे, वही बेटर है, दोनों को ही
वही
दे दे,
बेटर है।
दोनों को ही मिलने चाहिए।
मुझे भी ऐसा लगता है कि जितना
दोनों
भी
को मिलना
अमाउंट
चाहिए ना,
कंप्लीट कर दो कब।
एक तो निकलता नहीं है, एक तो निकलता नहीं है, निकलता नहीं है, सालों में निकलता है तो फिर वो
क्योंकि दोनों का ही आया ना, तो दोनों ने ही
ज्यादा लोग रहते हैं ना तो
it should be up to 2. If it is 3, 4, forget. Then spin is okay. For the 2 तो you can always do the half. जैसे वो कह रही है ना जो अदर लेडी कि भैया हाफ कर दो, अगर 100 पॉइंट्स दे रहे हो तो मेक इट 50-50 ईच।
चलेगा
चलेगा
मेरा ऐसे ही एक बार लगा था, मुझे कुछ भी नहीं मिला।
100 दे दो, दोनों को 100 दे दो,
और आप
बाकी लाइन का
जो एक ही गिफ्ट देते हैं वो भी ठीक नहीं है। पता है इतने बंदों में किसका आता है, एक कभी आता ही नहीं नंबर।
हमारा तो कभी लक है ही नहीं इसमें,
मेरा तो किसी में भी नहीं आता।
एक ही बार लगा था और 2 के बीच में स्पिन द व्हील किया,
वो भी चला गया होगा
और वो भी नहीं मिला मुझे।
so sad.
सच बैड लक।
मेरा भी
मतलब सारा दिन
नहीं आता, कभी नहीं आता मेरा भी तंबोला में।
मेरा भी नहीं आता कभी भी। अभी हमने वैसे भी खेलते हैं ना कभी आपस में भी या किट्टी में भी, तब भी नहीं आता।
मैं तो बहुत जीतती हूँ, पर क्या कहते हैं इसमें,
जबकि अदर डिविडेंड्स के लिए आप 2-3 जन को दे देते हो।
एग्जैक्टली
मगर हाउसी में नहीं मिलता।
जस्ट क्रेडिट देना होता है ना,
तो इसमें भी क्रेडिट्स दे दीजिए ना, पर दोनों को दीजिए,
चलेगा
दोनों को दीजिए
से मिलता है ना।
हाँ, दोनों का लक तो था ही ना, एक बार मेहनत तो की है दोनों ने।
And generally it happens once in a blue moon. Generally it happens once in a blue moon.
नहीं कई बहुत लक की जिनको हमेशा मिलता ही रहता है, कई
मिलते ही रहता
है। मेरे फेट पे नहीं ये लागू होता। It never
implemented.
मुझे भी नहीं मिलता। तो होता क्या है,
कभी नहीं मिलता।
स्पिन द व्हील में भी अपना लक लगता नहीं है और हमें मिलता ही नहीं।
सेम कभी भी नहीं लगता।
अब अर्चना जी ध्यान रखिए
किसी ग्रुप में भी।
चलो हम लोगों का रिक्वेस्ट जरा ऊपर तक भेज दो, अपने मालिक को बोलो।
मैंने आगे सुना है, मैं मेरे मालिक को बोल दूंगी।
मालिक को बोल दो कि
आप ये भी बोल लो ना,
अर्चना बोलना आपसे ही लागू करे ये, क्योंकि मुझे मिला।
चलेगा।
जो सिंगल खिलाते हो उसका भी चेंज करो। एक जने को कहाँ मिलता है वो लकी ड्रॉ, जो देते हो एक फुल हाउस बस।
तो फुल हाउस की बात ही कर रहे हैं, बात तो फुल हाउस की हो रही है। बाकी डिविडेंड्स तो दे देते हैं, अगर किसी की एक लाइन फर्स्ट लाइन 2-3 की हुई है तो दे देते हैं।
कभी कभी ये खाली हो रखते हैं ना फुल हाउस गिफ्ट, वो तो मुश्किल है, इतने लोगों में किसका लक निकलता है।
अरे किसी का तो निकलेगा ही,
एक का तो निकलेगा ना, किसी एक का तो निकलेगा ही।
हाँ, हमारा तो
नंबर एक ही होएगा ना, सारे थोड़ी ना होंगे लकी। चलो भी मैं तो चली,
आपके सारे
जी मैं भी चली,
बाय।
नोट किए है, हम लोग जल्दी इसके ऊपर डिस्कस
हाँ
करेंगे।
प्लीज आज से इम्प्लीमेंट करो इसको, क्योंकि मुझे मिला है यार।
की सेशन भी रखा करो ना, क्विज के सेशन।
क्विज के बहुत सारे होते हैं, इसी में क्विज भी होता था, बट आज हम लोग ने नहीं किया है। आज हमने
नहीं अलग से, जैसे क्विज का क्वेश्चन आंसर पूछ वैसे
होता है ना। मनिंदर मैम अभी आए हैं वापस, तो हम लोग जल्दी स्टार्ट करेंगे।
चलो ठीक है, ओके बाय, गुड नाइट।
थैंक यू एवरीवन।
गुड नाइट।
गुड नाइट, गुड नाइट, गुड नाइट।